Oh, got it right this time. Okay, go outside so don't get a copyright from the music. Just want to clarify something. I oftentimes feel like I should just go quiet, but it's like if I did, then I'd just become an isolated person. And that's what would make it even easier for people, they just bring up stuff I say and then give evidence as to why I'm wrong and this is in real life, and they don't comment or share any likes on here or anything. And I correct them about it because they say it politely, but I know the intentions, so I reply politely in return, and then there'll be someone else, and then there'll be someone else, and then there'll be all these. It's very, really positive. But when we get with when I get with that ADHD group, and when I get with the autism group, obviously it's not like we're knowing each other for forever and stuff, but it feels like that. But that's only because even though they have all these different personalities and all these different hobbies and stuff, what you have in common is all the stuff that you had to overcome in regards to your ADHD and in regards to your autism. In other words, see, like I could have had women when I was younger, and I'm over my hyponatremia. I'm over it now, but just to play it safe, I thought I'd get one of these because it's packed full of sodium. I get one of these in an energy drink because in order to recover from hyponatremia, they were saying online 180 milligrams of sodium. And so obviously my sauces have sodium in them because they're like barbecue sauce, tomato sauce, and then there's the Indian stuff and mayonnaise, aioli. But I'm over it now. I'm past it. You guys can tell. But just to play it safe, I got one of these and a sports drink. And I could have. I had women offer themselves to me maybe like once every month or once every couple of months for, and they had a few drinks at a party. But I was like, I was standing by what I believed in at the time, which was no sex till marriage. And now there's been a couple of times I've shared interest with women, but I was just like, only because I made it, well, you have to trust them and be clear as possible, and all this other thing that they're not in a relationship and they haven't been in one for the past month or something, or longer, and this was like a couple of years ago, even last year, and then they'll be like, yeah, and then they say, oh no, actually we've got like these other morals and stuff, and it was like they're saying the same things I said on my YouTube videos. But I actually literally believe that, and I remembered that when it used to make me sad when I heard about women and guys losing their virginities. And I used to cry about it. I used to cry about it when it was a Christian, because I literally I was on the right track about things, but I literally believed that there was something like they had like disconnected themselves from God or something because they didn't wait till marriage, or they lost it to someone and then they broke up like 6 months later or something, and so they lost their connection with God, and they had to do, like there was an actual like a year or so where I thought that, oh no, they're gonna go to hell or something, but then the next year I came to the conclusion that it's not true. And now I realise what it is, like, because you end up getting soul ties and all that type of stuff. It's probably why I found it so sad. I said some people had connections to God and others had stronger connections to God, and the ones that I knew were mainly Christian. So They were all the ones that had stronger connections to God, and then that's why I was like crying when they lost their virginity. And I was like 19 years old. But I certainly don't believe that anymore. That's why I left that little song. I could have edited out or tried to do that recording again, Archangel Gabriel, but that little buffering like that came along from just it's buffering on Soundtrap, you know. Like trap music's a mixture of like hip hop, R&B, house, techno. That's what they say, and then they just mix it up and with different beats as to why it's called trap music. But the funny thing is they got all these jazz and all this other stuff on there, you know. My ideal was going to be hip-hop, techno, dub, as well as natural sounds. But obviously you bump into all these other sounds and you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. As you age, your music tastes change too. Because I hear a lot of the metal and the metal that comes out, that came out 2024. I put on 2024 metal, best metal. This was like a couple of weeks ago. It had 100 songs on it, and it was like after about 10 songs I had enough, because half of them sounded like I've heard this 100 times before, and the other half was just like, it just wasn't resonating with me. But as soon as they put on the metal from the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s up until about 2018, that's when the child, teenager, and then adolescent version of me kicks in. So that's always going to be the case. But then all like the type of stuff that I like now, I'll search up all the old stuff that sounds really good, and it just doesn't resonate with me. But then you'll search up things that came out like 2022 onwards that sounds exactly the same but slightly different, and it's like, yeah. I used to believe in getting your frustration out on by writing things, singing things, and working out at the gym and playing rugby. So, you know, I never did anything bad. So for me, I reckon I was a good guy. But I've had women share interest in me and then pull out at the last minute, not even. And they're acting as if like that's payback for what you've done for me. I've had women when I was in Hawke's Bay, after I changed my beliefs, tell me that they're like, you know what, that's what you did to me a couple of times. You said that you were interested in me, but then you said that you'll only get with me if we'd only have sex once we got married. If we got married, and it's going to take ages because we have to build a relationship. That's what you said to me. And then this was me when I was like 30 years old. They were like, now do you see how it feels? Like they had held on to it for like a decade or something, or 5 years or whatever. So I understand. But there's trauma to each side of it, you know what I mean? Because they say about all their stuff, but how can I relate to all their stuff? I understand, but my trauma's got to do with I put in all the sacrifice and it led nowhere. And then once I left the church and questioned Christianity, all of a sudden I was never a loyal Christian. I never had a relationship with God, and anything that goes wrong in my life is because I'm cursed by God. As for when it was going wrong when I was a Christian, it was because God was testing my faith. But then when things go right for me, you don't hear anything. So